Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and in the mud Han Solo lives the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time.
Solo lies.
Solo lies. Isn't that stuff that you're supposed to spray on a burn? Weren't we just talking about that?
That's the planet that Val's from.
Pete the Retailer. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I am Crystal Beth from right here, right now, in this moment.
Whoa. That's heavy,
I was
man.
like, I know, I was going to say that was really meta. Or wait, no, that's not the right word. Very, nope. Nope, long day, brain done.
Well, hopefully we have
Thank
a little
God
bit.
it's Friday.
There's a little bit left in the brain to talk about minute 20 of Solo, a Star Wars story. Minute 20 starts with Han Solo telling Rhea that a couple of your arms popped out of your butt and hiked up your pants. And it ends, as I said, with Han Solo lying in the mud, waiting for the beast.
Did
Lying
he really
in the mud, waiting for the beast.
Did he really say the word butt? And is this the first appearance of the word butt in Star Wars?
He did say butt.
I don't think butt's been said before. I mean, maybe it's like a conjunction or whatever it's called, and you know.
But like Anakin didn't say, I'm going to kick your butt, Slamo. Nothing like that.
I don't think so.
Look up butt in Wikipedia.
It sounds like we're 12.
Look up butt.
I can't think of where it obviously would have only been in the. I don't think it would even have been in a prequel.
I think they used the word keister. She said, move your keister, meester.
Who said that?
When Princess Leia was telling her to jump down into the garbage, she's like, move your keister, meester.
Butterflies, butterflying, butter legends.
This is butt with two T's, basically.
Buttersweet puff.
Is that a My
Butter
Little Pony?
Newt. Yeah, buttersweet puffs totally sounds like a My Little Pony. Butter-basted land shrimp. You butter-basted land shrimp.
That is very offensive in Mon Calamari culture.
Butter tea, button beetle, butterbug. Bantha butter,
Butterbug.
Carillion butterfly. No, nothing about butts.
Nothing about butts.
Trevor
What?
Butterfield.
Hmm.
Ain't nothing about butts. Yeah, well, I like, it's a little too familiar, a little too goof. But it is Han being a little bit goofy, but it's I don't know. Like the way that he says it, the way that he says but. It sounds kind of kiddish, and he's supposed to be like a teenager here, I guess. But he's just like, a couple of your arms popping out of your butt. Like,
although he's been at war for 2 years. That's what's weird
true,
about it. A soldier
Yeah.
using the word butt is very strange.
Well, it's also, there's little things that happen in the Star Wars universe in film that I'm like, don't bring real life in there. I watched Star Wars to escape real life, like when Poe said H in
right.
Oh gosh, which one was that?
The
What do
Last
you have
Jedi.
against the letter H?
Oh, was it?
Well, it should have been HERF. We talked about.
It's not. H is
Oh, you mean it's
English.
an abbreviation for Hux. Is what you're
well
talking
now it is.
Right.
about. Okay.
Well, but we do have the X-wing and Y-wing, and so it's being.
Yeah, I know, but it was like for
translated
me,
to
I
what
was
we're-
like, oh gosh, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I think the example that we always use is boyfriend, where like Finn says like, "What, you got a boyfriend? Cute boyfriend?" And then it's like,
Yeah.
that sounds a little too, real worldy.
Worldy, yeah. He
It's a
should have
fine
said,
line.
"You have a space boyfriend." We'd be
There you
like,
go.
"Ah,
That's much more.
space
Oh,
boyfriend."
space boyfriend.
That makes sense.
You have a laser boyfriend.
Or they could have like made up a fake sci-fi word too.
Right. You have a Zooblox? You have a Zooblox? Two Zooblox?
You'd have to explain that. Do you have a Zooblox, a boyfriend? You'd have to. That's they always do in those kind of
Right. Well, you could do it out of context, maybe.
This bit at the beginning of the minute where he says, "I saw your hand come out of your butt and pull up your pants, trooper."
Couple of your
And
arms.
then they have the great, because it's the great rejoinder. Oh yeah,
Yeah. I love that. It's like, oh, yeah.
That's your snappy comeback.
That's it.
Oh yeah,
And then nothing.
Yeah.
They lost the rest of the audio.
File
I'll
not
put a
found.
joke in later.
Right. No, but it works well that he's, sometimes Han can get the upper hand, which is good.
Upper hand.
Upper hand.
Ha
Couple of your arms. That's why he says arms and not hands.
What do you, this has nothing to do with this particular minute, but I thought of it the other day. What do you think happened to Han Solo? Everyone makes a big deal about Luke's lightsaber and Luke's hand on Cloud City. What do you think happened to Han's blue jacket? Because when he got in Carbonite, he wasn't wearing it anymore, and we never see it anymore. Do you think
Ugnaught has it or something?
Yeah, totally.
Is it left on Cloud City? Did Chewie carry it with him when they were running back to the Falcon? It was probably maybe in the pouch with.
You know what? They probably put it in the Lost and Found, and no one claimed it because they were like, "This is a dirty old jacket." And then finally one day it was cold, and someone forgot to bring their own jacket, and they were like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna wear this old coat that's been here for 6 months. I'll wear this home because no one's claimed it." And then
New Adventures of Han Solo's blue jacket.
I bet Lobot took it. I hope Lobot took it.
He would look cool in it.
He would look cool in it.
Yeah.
I don't think it would fit over his puffy sleeves, though.
Maybe you take the sleeves off and make it a vest.
I think it's like
there
the
you go.
action figure where they're hard molded onto him. He can't.
No, but even so, you don't want puffy sleeves inside of a jacket like that.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to minute number 20 of Solo, a Star Wars story now on digital and Blu-ray. So they say, let's feed him to the beast.
Well, first he overplays his hand. That's what you were talking about this for yesterday, but it's actually today that Han, he almost seems like he's almost warming them up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And then
he gets cocky.
Somebody's like, wait, quiet. Oh, yeah, wait. That's how he learns not to get cocky.
Uh-huh.
Oh. But
lessons.
he almost has them not convinced maybe, but he also almost has them warmed up enough that they're willing to listen.
Yeah.
And then then they have to, it was like, oh, they have to be quiet for a second because there's the other officers. Then he feels like he's not quite got the clout yet, so he turns it into blackmail, turns it into extortion. That's where it goes wrong. He does get cocky.
Well, and you almost think for a second, like, oh, Woody Harrelson's you admire your chutzpah, kid. Come on, let's go. Like, this is the kind of thing, but it totally backfires on him.
Yeah.
And having Woody Harrelson say the word chutzpah is just, I can't even imagine what that would sound like. So probably best that it didn't happen. But yes, he tries to call over the lieutenant. No, the lieutenant. Right.
Yeah, it's lieutenant.
Yeah, same guy. The one he just pissed off a minute ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Zerblax. What's his name? You got a Zerblax? Cute
Zerblax.
Alan Landon.
Cobbler.
Alan Landon. Alice Landon.
Alan Ladd. No, Lieutenant Elias Balandon.
Elias Balandon.
Elias Balandon.
Yeah, it definitely, because Blandon clearly needs no excuse to. He's just like, okay, immediately, just like, okay, take him away. He doesn't say like, well, what do you mean? Because he doesn't look like he's deserting. He's kind of just standing here in the middle of this scene. But
I like this part.
Yeah,
I think it's funny. Woody Harrelson plays Woody Harrelson so well.
Mm-hmm.
He calls the guy over and just uses his 2 fingers to be like, blackmail, huh? Okay, come here.
Yeah, and he's chewing on something
like a peanut.
Yeah. Yeah, and that confidence that he's got, that's the confidence that Han Solo is missing here. He's just got the confidence to be like, he's not afraid of getting found out. He calls over the lieutenant. To full on call Han's bluff.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. And Han Solo learns. And Han Solo learns.
He learned a valuable lesson about friendship that day.
Yeah. The real coaxium was the friends we made along the way. And then we get feed him to the beast.
Yeah. So speaking of friendship, up until he said feed him to the beast, I totally forgot there was going to be a scene where he was going to meet Chewbacca. And then as soon as he said, feed him to the beast, I'm like, oh, that's going to be Chewbacca. Like, I immediately knew it as soon as he said, feed him to the beast, that's what it was going to be.
The first time you saw it?
The first time I saw it, I remember thinking like, oh, right, Chewbacca. Like,
right.
I did not put two and two together.
Oh, that's
I was
good.
like, who's the beast? I immediately was like, Rancor. Like, immediate first thought.
Oh, right.
And then when I saw the fur, I was like, that's not a Rancor. And then I was like, oh my gosh, he meets Chewie here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Well, I mean, spoilers. We don't know if that's actually going to happen.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see about this beast. Well, here again, it's less egregious this time because I guess maybe the two stormtroopers are just kind of front and center in the middle of the screen, so it's easier for them to be. That's where the sound is coming from, kind of. But we get this little back and forth between them that I don't. It's a little.
The part about not being fed in 3 days.
Yeah, like, oh, I haven't fed him in 3 days. That should be fun. Like it doesn't sound like things that real people would say.
No, you would never want to admit that you didn't feed them for that long.
And then, well, yeah, because imagine it's like, oh, we haven't fed him in 3 days. This will be fun. They throw him down there, and Chewbacca's just dead from starvation. Like, oh,
or just so weak, that he can't do anything.
But then this does bring up the question. Alex will have to. Crystal, I'm sorry, you probably won't be here, but Alex will have to keep an eye out for when does Chewie next get a chance to eat something.
Yeah.
Because if he's, you think he would have eaten Han Solo if Han Solo hadn't said.
He's always thinking with his stomach.
That's true, he is.
Yeah.
See? So for somebody who's known to be hungry, to not get fed for 3 days.
Great, Chewie. Just great.
Yeah. His name is Chewie.
I know.
Like, he loves to eat. It's right there in the name.
It's like in the Three Ninjas when they name the kid Tum Tum and he asks about it and he's like, because you always got things hanging out of your mouth because you're always eating candy. Have we thought about the Three Ninjas in a while?
There you go.
Think about it often. We get another fantastic don't care before we start talking about the not being fed for 3 days. He's like trying to, Han's explaining, and the stormtrooper just throws him down in the mud. And as he's shutting, he's like, don't care.
Yeah.
Nobody cares in this movie.
Right.
Which is interesting because they did say, I mean, that's the way to go if you're trying to perhaps wrongly accuse somebody of something, is to immediately throw in, oh, and they're a liar, don't believe anything they say. Yeah. That's what Beckett says to him. He's like, oh, we got a deserter here. Also, he's a liar, don't believe anything he says.
Smart.
Because then no matter what they say,
you're a liar.
Yeah. Exactly. But
don't believe
he told us you were
going
to say that. Right.
What regarding Chewbacca in the pit?
That's the sequel to Regarding Henry.
Regarding
Chewbacca. Also starring Harrison Ford.
What is your strangest animal encounter? I'll start. I'll just, since I already had time to think about it, I'll go first. Okay. When I was in Costa Rica, I was visiting my brother who was studying abroad there, and we went to so we're in like we're in the capital of San Jose, but and it's like a suburban part of it where it's like smaller houses and things like that. We're walking home at night, and suddenly we turn around a corner, and there's literally a bull in the street, just kind of like standing there. And my knowledge of bulls comes from Warner Brothers cartoons, so I'm like immediately like trying to back off slowly because I'm assuming this thing's gonna charge at me, and it really didn't seem to care one way or the other. So I'm guessing it wasn't like the the charging type. So
you didn't walk up and slap him to music.
I totally did. You're steaming up my tail, is what I told him. So, but yeah, that was closer to a reek to put that in Star Wars terms in the course from the Attack of the Clones. But you guys have any odd animal encounters?
For some reason, the other day this came up that when I was a kid, maybe 5 or so, there was a kiosk set up at the mall that had some animal cubs, and you could take pictures with them. And I have a picture with a lion cub on my lap, and the lion peed on me. So I got peed on by a lion at the mall.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
which is not as scary as seeing a bull in the wild. But I got peed on by a lion at the mall. As maybe that should be my memoir.
I was young and
you needed the money.
I needed the money. When you have memories that you're like, did that happen or was that a dream?
Uh-huh.
I was convinced that it had to have been a dream, that like the VFW or Rotary Club or something that I was going to with my mom had a bear in a cage in the parking lot, and it was a big bear. And I remember the guy telling me that I could pet the bear. And I was like, I don't want to pet the bear. And then I just never thought about it again, because I was like, oh, it must be just like a weird dream or like fabricated memory, because it doesn't seem like there would be a bear at a VFW or Rotary Club place.
He's not a member.
Right? Not members. So my mom just brought it up randomly one day a few years ago. And it turns out that there was in fact a bear in a small cage, big bear in a small cage outside of the VFW. And the guy that was telling me I could pet it only had one arm.
Oh, wow.
And my mom was like, you're not allowed to pet that bear.
Right.
Wow.
But that was, that's my, I guess my animal. I mean, the first thing I thought was during COVID, I got bit by a copperhead in Texas.
Wow.
And it like ate some of my toe off of itself, which not like it didn't gobble it up, but the venom.
Right.
It was real nasty. Right? But it's a snake, an animal. It's a reptile. I don't know if
that counts. That counts.
Yeah.
Bitten by a poisonous snake counts as an animal encounter.
It sucks. Book. It hurts. Like if I stub my toe or something, the nerve damage in it hurts so much.
Wow.
But,
sheesh.
Yep. Now I feel like I can like summon snakes to me, though. That's my power.
There you go.
It was radioactive, the snake.
Yeah.
No wonder it was so painful.
Don't pronounce S's as well anymore. There's like a
yeah. Team Slytherin now.
Uh-huh.
And when I'm smelling something, I'm like...
But you did that anyway.
Shed your skin every 6 months or so. Peeling off your skin
my gosh,
suit.
I wish.
Oh, that would be fun.
I'm picturing you ordering a glass of wine or a bottle of wine at the restaurant. They bring it over, and you're like, yeah, that's good. That's good.
I don't blush. I would totally do that now for fun. Oh, that's so funny, Pete.
The Beast. That was my last note. We talked about that already.
The Beast.
The Beast. And when does he get to eat? When does the Beast get to eat?
Mm-hmm.
I love the mud.
It is good mud.
This is very good textured mud.
It seems very real, and it seems mucky. It's mucky mud.
Yeah, I think it probably smells, but the texture is pretty good looking. I want to pick it up.
I do not want to pick it up. When I was a kid, I lost a shoe in mud like this, and I
wow.
I don't, because it was the end of my block was most of the time it was muddy like this on one side. The other side was a beautiful beach, but this side on the bay was often just kind of like
a quagmire,
deep stinky muck.
Quagmire, wow.
This does seem like, we'll frequently ask people like, what planet would you want to live on, and so on. Of the Imperial potential job postings, this probably seems this is the worst one, right?
Yeah, there's nothing redeemable about it.
There's no Imperial posting here. There's nothing worse than this one here. Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen it during the day. Does it ever get to be day? Is it ever like a bright and sunny day on Mimban?
Well, the Mimbans live underground, which might be a reason why. It might be because the surface is an unpleasant place to be. Swampy. They're called swamp troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bad detail to be in.
Yeah.
No,
give me Scarif any day.
Like humid and cold and
yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad
muddy
combination. But on the other hand, you can just kind of walk around and do whatever you want, it seems like. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. If you're into murdering people, it's a much better place to be, because then you can just kind of do whatever you want.
That's where the whole department. No, the whole division there is just made up out of like murderers and.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for minute 20 as well.
Yeah.
I just like the mud.
It is good mud. And I said we don't get to see what the beast is, even though we were talking about
the cliffhanger. Let us know what you think the beast is in the comments below. Crystal, do you have anything else you want to say about the movie in general? Any other scenes or characters? Lando, L1, Dryden Voss. Anyone else you have strong opinions about? Empty Nest.
I like that there's a droid in the Millennium Falcon. It's kind of a fun addition that doesn't really change anything, but is fun to think about when they refer to the Falcon as more of a sentient being. It's like, well, it was.
Right.
I enjoy that. I think that she's so funny. I think that's probably droid's my favorite character. I could have gone without Emilia Clarke in it. She was just 2 Daenerys at that point. I couldn't shut off Game of Thrones brain.
Right.
What were you going to say, Alex?
I was going to say about Fleabag being L1. That is such a like of the moment thing. Like that show was so popular at that time so it's like you could really. It would be like if Yakov Smirnoff appearing. It dates the movie to such a moment in pop culture history where she was the real big thing for a second. Where it was like, I'm not saying she's not going to do stuff in the future, but that was clearly like she was in the zeitgeist at that time. So it's very.
Wait, was that was after that? That was before this?
I think it was might have been like between season 1 and 2 or something.
Of Game of Thrones?
Right after Fleabag?
No, Fleabag.
Fleabag. Gotcha. Right.
Series 1 was 2016, and then Solo came out in 2018, and then season 2 of Fleabag came out in 2019, which is why I was confused, because I think I only saw it
after
season 2.
Right, yeah.
Okay. I was like, who's that robot? Does she have any TV shows I could watch?
You've been burned before.
I have not actually seen Fleabag.
Oh, you shouldn't? It's good. It's still, I think
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's also interesting that I think last week we were talking about it, and the I think Chrysanthi last week was saying that was one of her least favorite parts of L3. So I like that this movie has something for everybody almost. It's got some things there. People like things. People like other aspects of it. It keeps changing. It's not a one-note movie.
Right.
Which can be off-putting perhaps, but also I like that, and I keep forgetting about these different parts that come up in a sense.
Yeah. I liked the little relationship between her and Lando, and I think Donald Glover did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's been rumors about them doing a Lando series, but he's not attached to it, but that's like ridiculous.
The Lando series has been announced, but he's not confirmed to be in it necessarily at this point.
That seems kind of like that would be a way of getting Alden Ehrenreich back, give him a shot at redemption if they do a Lando show and then have Alden Ehrenreich be a supporting character in that.
Or if they just totally make it a different thing. Remember, do Mind Harp of Sharu and all that stuff go off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's what I got. That's my
Thank
story.
you.
I'm sticking to it.
Thanks, Crystal, for coming and hanging out with us this week, talking about Solo.
Thanks for having me.
And for being a part of the Movies by Minutes thing since its inception.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I miss everyone so much. And if anyone's listening, I miss you.
Aww.
I feel like they're just hanging out. They're like, we haven't heard from her. We're not even listening to this week.
It's sweet that you think that they're listening to our show still. So.
Oh, they are.
They're all sitting around. They're trying to get back to you, like Kira.
Aww.
Oh.
And you're like, what? That was like 2 years ago.
I've got my minivan and my 2 kids. What's going on?
But if you at home, you listening to this, wherever you may be, if you can't get enough of me and Alex, we will be back tomorrow. This weekend, we will do perhaps 2 different shows for our Patreon supporters over at StarWarsMinute.com/Patreon. There you can get access to We've done, hundreds of episodes over the years of weekend shows where we just talk about whatever, some Star Wars news, some just generic nonsense.
As of this recording, we've done over 350 Swimweek episodes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weekends. So.
Right. So you got some stuff
Never
to
been a better
up on.
time to join.
And also, if right now we're doing a thing where you get ad-free versions of the show at StarWarsMinute.com/Patreon. If you support us over there,
any level.
You don't want to listen to the ads, then sign up over there.
The ads.
Maybe then we'll catch you back over here on Monday for a brand new episode
Star Wars
of Star Wars Minute.